I was hired back in 1990 by the Baltimore Skipjacks of the American Hockey League. And it was really, at that time, an unbelievable experience. I look back, I would never trade in those 2 years for anything. Not only did I do the broadcast, but helped out in public relations and marketing and sales. I wasn't a very good salesman. That wasn't my forte, but it was a great learning experience. But our head coach was Robbie Laird, who had been a long-time minor league player and coach. Our assistant coach, I was 22, got hired to do the radio. Our assistant coach was a 26 or 27-year-old named Barry Trotz. And to save money, the Skipjacks front office had the radio guy, me, room on the road with the assistant coach, Barry, to save money. So we shared a hotel room for 2 years, and we had a lot of fun, and I learned so much, both about hockey and about life from Barry and being around him. I remember we played Binghamton, the Rangers farm team at the time, in the playoffs in 1991, and one of Barry's duties was to edit the videotape, put all the power plays together and put all the penalty kills together. And back then, we didn't have this unbelievable video equipment like they have now, where at the snap of a button, you can call up every power play for a team for the entire season. Back then, Barry would travel with two little VHS machines, and he would have to put the tape of the game in one, and he had a wire which connected to the other VHS, and he would just have to splice it together, and it would take hours after every game. We were in Binghamton, and I was falling asleep at about midnight or 1 a.m. We had two beds in the room, in the hotel room, and he's on the other bed editing the videotapes together. And one of the tapes got stuck. And, Ron, you and I might be the only ones old enough on this Zoom call to remember, when cassette tapes would get stuck in a tape recorder, or VHS tapes would get stuck, and you'd have to, unravel them somehow. And there's Barry Trotz. It took him hours. I had a little screwdriver as part of the radio equipment, and he took the screwdriver, and at about 5 a.m, somehow he got the videotape unraveled, and he was able to get the tapes ready for the practice and the meetings the next morning. But we had Joel Quenneville on our team, who was at the end of his NHL career. Tim Taylor, who would go on to win Stanley Cups with Detroit and Tampa Bay. The goalies were Ole Kolzig and Byron Dafoe, who went on to long NHL careers. So a lot of fun to be around those guys. Keith Jones, who I worked with on Turner, he came to our team out of college. He finished up at Western Michigan, and he was a Washington draft pick, so he joined the team late in the 91-92 season. So many great memories. From there, I spent 3 years in Washington with the Capitals on the TV side, and then came up to New York, started working at MSG with the Rangers just prior to the 95-96 season.
I hope on off nights you were pounding brews with 27-year-old Barry Trotz back then, Kenny.
Some of those road trips, we would go to the Maritimes in Canada. There's a story which I've told, which is probably too long for you guys, but Barry arranged a fake arrest of me as we got off the plane. They would get one person every year, either a player or a trainer, who didn't know about the previous season's, escapades. So they got me. I went in an unmarked car. They asked me all these questions. Your passport valid? Have you ever been arrested? Do you know anyone that's in trouble? That was all set up by Barry Trotz. They got me.